We're going to talk about a penny that you might have lying around in your change jar, the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln 1 cent. This penny is not just any old coin. It could be worth thousands of dollars, and today we're going to dive deep into its history, why it's so valuable, and how you can spot one that might be hiding in your collection. Let's get started. The 1968 Lincoln penny is an interesting piece in U.S. coin history. To understand why this penny is valuable, let's first take a look at its background. In 1968, the U.S. Mint began using a new method for producing pennies, the transition from 90% copper to a copper-plated zinc core. It was also the first year after the 65 to 67 coin shortage, and during this period, the Mint was trying to get back to regular production. Normally, the U.S. Mint places a mint mark on each penny, signifying where it was struck: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. But in 1968, something unusual happened with the Philadelphia Mint. There was no mint mark used on the pennies, and the result was a rare variation in the coinage. So, why is the 1968 no mint mark penny so valuable? Well, there are a few reasons. First, most of the 1968 pennies were struck with a mint mark, either from the Denver or San Francisco Mint. But the no mint mark variant, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is far rarer in uncirculated condition. Coin collectors value these pennies for their scarcity, particularly when they are in excellent condition. A typical 1968 penny without a mint mark, found in average circulated condition, may only be worth a few cents. But here's where things get interesting. When you find a 1968 no mint mark penny in uncirculated or proof condition, it can fetch a much higher price. For example, if you have a 1968 no mint mark penny that has been graded at a high level, say MS-67 or MS-68, it could be worth upwards of $1,000 to $2,000 or even more, depending on its exact condition. Coins that are near perfect, with no visible wear, scratches, or discoloration, are highly sought after by collectors. Now, you might be wondering, how do I spot one of these valuable coins? It's all about condition and knowing what to look for. First, check for the lack of a mint mark. Remember, if there's no mint mark, it was minted in Philadelphia. But that's just the start. Next, you'll want to examine the coin closely for its grade. A coin's grade is based on its condition, and the higher the grade, the more valuable it becomes. If you're unsure how to grade a coin, you can use the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1, worst condition, to 70, perfect, uncirculated condition. Look for any signs of wear or scratches, especially on the obverse and reverse sides. The shinier and more flawless the coin, the more valuable it will be. As for current market values, a 1968 no mint mark penny in average circulated condition can be worth anywhere between 10 cents to 50 cents. But when graded higher, like MS-65, MS-66, or MS-67, its value can skyrocket. And as mentioned before, if you're lucky enough to find one in MS-68 or higher, you could be looking at a price tag of $1,000 or more. At auctions, well-graded 1968 no mint mark pennies have sold for over $2,000, especially when they come from collections or estates that have been properly cared for. But be cautious, not all 1968 pennies are worth a fortune. It's the condition, rarity, and authenticity that truly matter. If you happen to have a 1968 no mint mark penny in your collection, you might be wondering how to sell it for its maximum value. First, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can boost the value significantly. Once graded, you can sell your penny through online auction platforms like eBay, or you can contact coin dealers who specialize in rare pennies. Just make sure you do your research and price it correctly based on the market value. So, there you have it. The 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a hidden gem in the world of coin collecting, with the potential to be worth thousands if you're lucky enough to have one in perfect condition. If you think you have one, take the time to have it professionally graded and see what it could be worth. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting tips, and leave a comment down below if you've ever found a rare coin like this. We're talking about a very special penny, the 1978 D Mint mark Lincoln 1 cent, and why some of these pennies are worth thousands of dollars today. Let's start with a little history lesson. The 1978 Lincoln penny, minted in Denver, has been a key part of American coinage since its inception in 1909, honoring President Abraham Lincoln. The 1978 penny itself might seem like just another copper coin at first glance, but there's a lot more to this little penny than meets the eye. 1978 was a year of transition for the U.S. economy. The U.S. was still recovering from the effects of inflation, but the penny was still in high demand. The Denver Mint, marked with a D, produced millions of these pennies. The standard design, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, remained unchanged. But here's the kicker. It's not just about the year or mint mark. It's about certain rare features that set some of these pennies apart. So, what makes the 1978 D mint mark penny so valuable? Well, there are a few rare variants that have caught the attention of collectors and investors alike. First off, most of the 1978 pennies are very common and have a value of just 1 cent. But here's where it gets interesting. Some 1978 D pennies are worth way more due to minting errors, wear patterns, and the overall rarity of certain coin conditions. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1978 D penny is the possibility of finding error coins. For example, a 1978 D penny with a double die or a mistruck design can sell for thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. Double die errors, where the design was struck multiple times, can create a noticeable double image. This makes the coin more visually interesting and, of course, far more valuable to collectors who specialize in error coins. Another factor in the value of the 1978 D penny is its condition. Most pennies from this year were heavily circulated, meaning they have significant wear. However, if you manage to find a 1978 D penny that's in mint or near mint condition, especially in a grade of MS 65 or higher, it could easily fetch thousands of dollars at auction. Coins in top-tier condition are highly sought after by collectors who are looking for flawless examples to add to their collections. So, what's the magic number? How much can you really expect for a 1978 D penny? Well, depending on its rarity and condition, some of these pennies can sell for $5,000 or more, especially if they feature an error or are graded MS 65 or higher. At high-end auctions, it's not uncommon for 1978 D error coins or pristine examples to fetch these massive prices, especially if there's competition among collectors who see the potential for the value of these pennies to keep rising over time. If you're out hunting for these rare 1978 D pennies, here are a few tips. First, check for any noticeable minting errors like a double die or off-center strike. Next, pay attention to the overall condition. If it looks like it's been preserved well, it could be a high-value coin. And lastly, get your coins graded by a professional, especially if you think you've found a rare or error coin. So there you have it, the 1978 D Lincoln 1-cent penny is more than just a piece of change. Thanks to its potential minting errors, rare variants, and the fact that high-grade specimens are hard to come by, this penny can indeed be worth thousands of dollars. If you've got a 1978 D penny, take a closer look. You might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more videos like this. And remember, keep searching, because you never know what might be hiding in your pocket change. We're diving into one of the most intriguing finds in the world of coin collecting, the 1980 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny. First, let's talk about the basics. The 1980 Lincoln penny, like most modern pennies, features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. But here's where things get interesting. Most pennies from this year have a mint mark, either D for Denver or S for San Francisco. However, the 1980 No Mint Mark penny is unique. It was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and while most 1980 pennies have a mint mark, this rare version doesn't. So, why is this penny so valuable? Normally, you'd find mint marks on most U.S. coins minted after 1838. So, a missing mint mark is a big deal. While there are plenty of pennies from the 1980s, the no mint mark version from Philadelphia is a true anomaly. But what makes it worth thousands today? Over time, rare coins like this one have gained value because they're not part of the standard mintage. This error occurred during production, when the minting machinery failed to apply the mint mark on some of the 1980 pennies at the Philadelphia Mint. But it's not just the mint error that makes this penny valuable. It's the sheer rarity and the collector demand for such mistakes. Now, let's get to the fun part. How much is the 1980 no mint Mark Lincoln penny worth? If you find one in average circulated condition, you might be able to get around $10 to $50. But if you have one in uncirculated or gem condition, you're looking at a value of several $100s. And for specimens that have been graded high by professionals, like MS65 or higher, the value can shoot up into the thousands. Yes, you heard that right. An uncirculated 1980 no mint Mark Lincoln penny can be worth thousands of dollars if it's in pristine condition. So, how do you find this elusive coin? The first thing you'll want to do is check the date and look closely at the area under Abraham Lincoln's portrait. If there's no mint mark, voila, you've got a 1980 no mint Mark Lincoln penny on your hands. Make sure you inspect the coin's condition carefully. The more pristine it is, the more valuable it becomes. A penny that's been sitting in circulation for decades may have some wear and tear, but if it's well preserved, you're looking at a potential treasure. To make sure you're getting the best value for your 1980 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, it's important to have it professionally graded. A coin's grade is crucial in determining its market value, and getting it slabbed by a trusted grading company like PCGS or NGC is the best way to maximize its worth. And if you don't have a 1980 no mint mark penny yet, don't worry. Keep an eye out while you're going through your spare change, or even check out online auctions, where collectors might be willing to pay a premium for these rare pennies. So, there you have it. The 1980 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is a rare gem in the world of coin collecting, and with the right condition, it could be worth thousands of dollars. Be sure to check your coins and stay tuned for more valuable coin insights. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in modern U.S. history, the 1982 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. A coin that might just be hiding in your spare change, and it could be worth thousands of dollars. So, let's get started. At first glance, the 1982 D penny might seem like just another coin. After all, it's from the 1980s, a time when pennies were being churned out by the billions. But this little piece of history holds a surprise. It could be worth a lot more than its face value. Let's take a step back in time. The 1982 penny is particularly noteworthy because it marks the transition from the classic copper composition to a new, cheaper, and lighter copper-plated zinc version. During this year, the U.S. Mint produced pennies in both the copper and zinc blends. Why is this important? Well, it means that 1982 saw a rare coin variant: the copper-based pennies and the zinc-based pennies. The copper version is heavier, weighing 3.11 grams, while the zinc penny weighs just 2.5 grams. So, what does this have to do with the value of the 1982 D penny? It's all about rarity. While most 1982 pennies are made of zinc, the copper version, especially the ones with the D mint mark, are highly sought after by collectors. Why? Because fewer of them were made and even fewer have survived in great condition. A well-preserved 1982 D copper penny could fetch anywhere from $500 to $1,000 depending on its condition, and in some rare cases, even more. But why are these pennies so valuable? Let's take a closer look. Like all coins, the value of a 1982 D penny depends largely on its grade. If your penny has been well preserved, with little to no wear, it could be graded as MS65 or even higher. Coins with grades of MS66 or higher can sometimes go for thousands of dollars. But here's the kicker. Finding these pennies in top-notch condition is extremely rare. Collectors are constantly on the hunt for these elusive copper pennies. And even in lesser conditions, the value can still surprise you. A worn but identifiable copper penny might sell for a few $100s. Just how much can these pennies go for? Well, in one recent auction, a 1982 D copper penny in exceptional condition was sold for over $4,000. This was a game-changing moment for coin collectors who'd always known the value of this rare coin. Now, before you start digging through your pockets or coin jars, it's important to remember that not all 1982 D pennies are worth a fortune. The key is finding one with the right characteristics. Look for sharp details, minimal wear, and a clear mint mark on the reverse side. Look at the weight. The copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams, while the zinc versions are lighter. It should be a D for Denver. Located just beneath the date on the obverse. Sharp details. No corrosion and minimal wear are what you're aiming for. So, if you happen to find a 1982 D copper penny in great condition, don't just toss it into your jar of change. It could be worth far more than you ever imagined. We're diving into the world of the 1979 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, one of those hidden gems in the world of numismatics. You may have one sitting in your collection or even in your pocket right now that could be worth thousands of dollars. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's dive into the fascinating story of this rare coin. Cut to close-up shots of a 1979 D Lincoln penny, highlighting the details of the design. First, let's talk about the history of the 1979 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent, introduced in 1909, is one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. By 1979, the design of the penny had remained relatively unchanged for decades, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Show images of the original 1909 penny design and the 1979 penny design. The 1979 penny was minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The one we're focusing on today, the 1979 D penny, was minted in Denver. While most 1979 pennies are relatively common, there's one particular variety that has captured the attention of collectors and has become a highly sought-after coin. Cut to a magnified shot of the obverse of the penny. In 1979, some pennies were struck with a rare error known as the double die obverse. This error happens when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly, resulting in a doubling effect on the design. In this case, you'll notice doubled lettering on the obverse, especially around the words Liberty and In God We Trust. These doubled features make the coin stand out, and they're what makes certain 1979 D pennies worth so much money today. Zoom in on the Liberty and In God We Trust areas to highlight the doubling effect. If you happen to find a 1979 D penny with this double die error, you're holding something special. These coins can be worth thousands of dollars, depending on their condition. Cut to a table displaying different 1979 D pennies with various conditions. Now, let's talk about what these pennies are worth today. A regular 1979 D penny in average condition is worth only around 1 to 2 cents, just like any other penny. But the value skyrockets if you have the rare double die error. Cut to a coin grading chart. In mint condition, a 1979 D double die obverse penny can fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 or more. The exact price depends on the severity of the error and the overall condition of the coin. Coins that are graded at higher levels, such as MS65 or higher, can command higher prices. Show a graph with prices for different grades of the double die penny, ranging from $1,000 to $10,000. Cut to a step-by-step guide showing how to check for the double die error. Narrator. So, how can you identify if your 1979 D penny is one of these valuable double die errors? Here's a quick guide. Start by carefully examining the Liberty and In God We Trust areas. Look for any signs of doubling. If you see a noticeable shift in the letters, that's your first clue. Next, use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to get a better look. The doubling should be clear and sharp. If it's just a slight doubling or distortion, it might not be valuable. Finally, check the overall condition of the penny. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition will be worth much more. Show close-up shots of each step of the identification process. You might be wondering, how do I know if I have one of these valuable pennies in my collection? Well, it's always worth taking a second look at your loose change or collection. A little effort could lead you to an incredible find. If you have a 1979 D penny and suspect it might be a double die error, get it professionally graded at a trusted coin grading service. This can confirm its authenticity and dramatically increase its value. So, there you have it. The 1979 D Lincoln penny, with its rare double die error, is one of the most exciting coins to look for in your collection or pocket change. If you find one, you could be holding a piece of history worth thousands of dollars. Don't forget to check your pennies and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a coin with a rare error. As always, hit that like button if you found this video helpful, and subscribe for more coin hunting tips and coin history. Welcome back to the channel. If you love coin collecting, today's video is going to blow your mind. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1985 D-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. This penny might be just sitting in your pocket right now, but it could be worth thousands of dollars. Let's find out why. Narrator. First, let's take a trip back in time. The 1985 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny was produced at the Denver Mint, which is why it has the D-Mint mark. But what's important about this penny is its place in history. By 1985, the United States had already been producing Lincoln pennies for over 70 years, since 1909. But this specific year saw millions of these pennies being minted for circulation. Now, in 1985, these pennies were made using the same copper-plated zinc composition that we see today, and were minted in large quantities, around 5.5 billion pennies. So, you might be thinking, what makes some of these pennies worth thousands? Let's uncover that next. While most 1985 D pennies are worth just 1 cent, a few rare coins can be worth thousands of dollars, and here's why. The key to a penny's value is its condition. Coins in higher grades, meaning fewer scratches, dings, or wear, are more valuable. If you find a 1985 D penny in mint state, that's a grade like MS65 or higher, you might be sitting on a gold mine. In fact, these rare, high-grade pennies can fetch prices anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000, or even more in some cases. But that's not all. Certain 1985 D pennies have mint errors, and these can significantly increase their value. A popular error that collectors are always on the lookout for is the double die variety. This happens when the die that strikes the penny is misaligned, causing the design to appear doubled. If you're lucky enough to find a 1985 D penny with a doubling error, you could be looking at a penny worth $5,000 to $10,000 or even more, depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. So how do you know if your 1985 D penny could be worth big bucks? First, inspect it closely. Look for any unusual doubling on the date or lettering, especially on the Liberty or "In God We Trust" inscriptions. Also, check for any noticeable imperfections or signs of where that would drop the coin's grade. If you spot a double die error, or your coin is in mint condition, it might be worth getting it graded by a professional. To determine the exact value, you'll want to have it graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. A higher grade equals a higher price, and trust me, it's worth it. Who knew that a simple penny could be worth thousands of dollars? So, check your coin jars, flip through your pocket change, and if you find a 1985 D Lincoln penny in mint condition or with a minting error, you could be holding on to a small treasure. We're diving into the fascinating history of the 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent, the secrets behind its rarity, and what makes some of these coins so valuable to collectors. The Lincoln cent, designed by Victor David Brenner, debuted in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 1986 Lincoln penny, part of this iconic series, was struck without a mint mark, meaning it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. But what makes this coin so special? In 1986, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies annually. The Philadelphia Mint typically didn't add mint marks to its coins, so no mint mark on a 1986 penny is standard. However, certain coins from this year stand out and can be worth thousands of dollars, thanks to their rarity, errors, or pristine condition. Some 1986 pennies feature doubling on the inscriptions like Liberty or the date. This doubling happens during the minting process and is highly sought after by collectors. Off-center strikes. Coins where the design is noticeably off-center are rare and can fetch a premium. High-grade coins. A penny graded as mint state 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC is incredibly rare. Out of the billions minted, only a tiny fraction are preserved in such flawless condition, making them worth thousands. Most 1986 pennies found in pocket change are worth face value. Just 1-cent coins with no wear and tear can range from $1 to $10. Double die or off-center pennies can sell for hundreds of dollars, depending on the severity of the error. If your penny has been professionally graded as MS67 or higher, it could sell for $2,500 to $3,000 or more at auction. In fact, some auctions have seen these coins break records, selling for upwards of $5,000. Use a magnifying glass or microscope to look for doubling or off-center strikes. Avoid cleaning your coin, as it can lower its value. Keep it in a coin holder or airtight container to preserve its condition. For potentially valuable pennies, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can make all the difference at an auction. Who knew a humble penny from 1986 could hold so much potential value? Whether you're a collector or just curious, always check your change. You never know what treasure you might find. And remember, the key to a coin's value is rarity, condition, and demand. So what are you waiting for? Start hunting. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more exciting coin discoveries. Have you found any rare pennies in your collection? Let us know in the comments below. Welcome back to the channel. If you're passionate about rare coins, especially those hidden gems that can make you a fortune, then you're in for a treat today. We're diving deep into the 1975 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that might just be worth thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. Let's uncover its history, rarity, and why it's making waves in the world of coin collecting. Ready? Let's get started. First, let's talk about the history of the 1975 Lincoln penny. As part of the U.S. Mint's annual production, the 1975 penny features President Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of unity, integrity, and leadership. The coin was struck at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D Mint mark. While the 1975 D penny itself is not particularly rare, there's an interesting twist. Some of these pennies have unique characteristics that can make them significantly more valuable than their face value of just 1 cent. Now, you might be wondering, why are some of these pennies worth thousands of dollars? It all comes down to minting errors and condition. The most notable example is the 1975 D double die obverse. This error happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing the design to appear doubled or shifted. It can make the details of Abraham Lincoln's face and the inscriptions look slightly off. And if you spot one of these in your collection, you could be sitting on a gold mine. If you've got a 1975 D double die penny, you'll notice the extra thickness on the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust. And most importantly, the details on Lincoln's cheek and eyebrow will appear doubled. This is what makes this error so highly sought after. But here's the catch. These errors are extremely rare, which is why they can sell for thousands of dollars, depending on their condition. So, what are these rare 1975 D double die pennies worth today? Well, depending on the coin's grade and condition, you can expect to see prices range from $1,000 to $5,000, and in some rare cases, even more if it's in pristine condition. Coins that are graded MS 65 or higher can fetch a premium, and the better the coin's details, the higher the price tag. Let's talk about how to spot this elusive error. When you're looking at a 1975 D penny, use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the design. Check for doubling on the words Liberty and In God We Trust, and also on Lincoln's face. If you spot a distinct doubling, hold on to that coin. It could be worth a lot more than you think. Now, not every 1975 D penny is a double die, but don't throw away your pennies just yet. Other types of minting errors like off-center strikes or die cracks can also increase a penny's value. These errors are less common, but if you're lucky enough to find one, it could add hundreds or even thousands to the value of your coin. So there you have it. The 1975 D Lincoln 1-cent penny, while common in circulation, has some rare and valuable versions that can fetch thousands of dollars at auctions. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, make sure to check your pennies carefully for any signs of minting errors. You might just be holding on to a hidden treasure. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting tips, and share this video with your fellow collectors. Have you ever found a valuable penny? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about your discoveries.